Alright, I gotta do a collab that I do with a bunch of women on Instagram for apples. It's due next Saturday, but I figured I'm off, so I might as well try. Sorry if you hear my bird in the background. She's like talking. She keeps repeating her name and saying I love you. So that's that. This is what we're going to be trying to do today. Sorry, I have my makeup all like kind of lined up over there. I'm just going to kind of go in and start. I'm starting with the James Charles palette. I bought it, or had it given to me a while ago. Like shortly after it came out, I was like, ooh. Like I didn't really have any palettes at that point in time, so sorry, I'm like blind. I have all my eyeshadow brushes over here. So I'm gonna kind of go in with like a deeper brown all over. I'm gonna try to go in here and just kind of pack it into my crease. So I'm gonna blend it out with like an orange. I'm like hating how that looks right now. All right, we're off to a fantastic start. Whisper Grace, I love you. It's kind of like where we're at. I know it looks crazy right now, but we're not even close to being done, so. I'm using my camera as a guide so I can show you like kind of what I'm doing. I'm terrible at this. I'm not that great at makeup. But anyway, we got a lot of stuff kind of going on. Like about 8 days. I'm going up to go see my sister. My sister's husband's in the military, so they can't leave base right now due to COVID. Wow, that one actually started coming out better than the other one. Oh, that's great. So, and she had a baby, her first baby. So I haven't gotten to meet my niece yet. My niece is just about 4 months old. So like I haven't gotten to meet her yet. So I'm like super excited to go see her. We're me and my fiance are gonna leave my house like crazy early and pick up my dad. And then, great, this isn't working for me. We're gonna go pick up my dad and we're gonna go drive up because she lives about 4 hours from my house. So there's that. We're gonna go ahead and try this. I don't know how it's gonna work. I'm not a big fan of iHeart Revolution, but we're gonna try it. I haven't actually gotten to try this palette yet. We're gonna try, it's the iHeart Revolution, the Creme Brulee palette. Of course, I'm like terrible at this. It is this one, the Flambe. We're gonna try that. We're gonna get some on our brush. The last palette I had, it was like terrible, so that's why I'm not sure. And I hate the smell of it. It smells like that makeup that you get like when you're like 10. You know what I mean? Like Claire's makeup. It's kind of what it smells like. It smells like crap. It smells terrible. So that's why I'm not sure how I feel about it. I have all this like drugstore makeup that I like don't use. And like makeup like that I don't really use, that I kind of put aside for my daughter to play with because she's 7.5. So it looks crazy on camera, but it actually doesn't look bad in person. To be honest, it actually looks pretty decent in person. I think it's just the angle and like the fact that there's like no light down there. I'm gonna lighten it up a little bit with caramelized. But I don't don't have her yet. Her or her older brother. They currently live with their grandmother. We're actually moving that like in a week, like the same week that we're going to go see my sister. We're moving into the bigger side of our house. It's a rental, so that's kind of how it works out. Our side, for whatever reason, they made like super small, and then the other side they made like twice the size, so we don't really understand that, but that's what they did. Yeah, so that's what we're trying. We're getting ready to like move over there. Like we have the new furniture and everything for over there. We got rugs for over there. But yeah, like that's kind of like what we're trying to do right now is like move. So it's a little interesting. It's a little hectic over here trying to get that. So I'm gonna dip into my Subculture palette. This is like awful. My Subculture palette. We're gonna go into this shade, which is Fudge. And get some of my brush. See, just a little bit. We're gonna deepen this up some because I want my crease to be much darker. Because I'm gonna cut it back out, not with concealer or anything. I'm actually just gonna wipe it off because I haven't been liking how it comes out when I use like concealer. I even got like a white one to see if that changed it for me, like if I started liking how it came out, and I just haven't. It's terrible. It keeps like reflecting back at me. So yeah, it's been an adventure this last few months. I mean, for everybody it's kind of been an adventure, you know what I mean? Like this is like unprecedented, all this stuff that's been going on with COVID and whatever. I got lucky because most of the people that worked for my company got laid off, and I got to stay, which was really nice. I guess. It wasn't perfect, obviously. Ended up getting extremely hectic. So that was that. Give me a second. So I ended up getting like super hectic. I'm using micellar water. It's actually a different brand that's in there now than what's in there, but I just really like this as like a pump. So it's like super nice. I don't have to like dribble it on anything. Got it in my eye. That's awesome. That hurts. Anyway, so we're just getting prepared to like move over there and whatnot. In the process of like trying to move and keep our jobs, and luckily we've been lucky in keeping our jobs. We both did. His company never like cut really, like unless people didn't want to be there, I guess I should say. But like my company, like people got laid off, and I was worried because I'm actually the newest person at my company. So I swore, I was like, oh my God. Like after the first rounds left, I was like, all right, I'm definitely like next. Like there's no way that they're gonna keep me. You know what I mean? But they did. And I come to find out because I was talking to one of the other store managers, not my store manager, but like one from another company or from another store. And he was like, oh, well, it's because of your position. Like the manager stayed and the senior designer stayed. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So like I got to keep my job, which thoroughly surprised me that people that had been in the company for 2-3 years got laid off, and me, who hadn't even been there a year, got to keep my job. And I was like, that's interesting. So there's that. I just thought I was gonna get fired. Like, I was like fully prepared to get fired or laid off or whatever you want to call it, because they've only brought one person back, and he was from the second round. At least at my store, he was the only person that got brought back, other than the warehouse guy who got brought back like a month maybe after he got laid off, because we were just kind of like, we can't do it. Like, it was just the 4 of us, and like we were getting busy. And like we couldn't do the truck. So it got to be too much. So we ended up getting him back, which was nice that we didn't have to do it ourselves. Because some days it was rough. It was really, really rough. I know it looks insane right now. I'm like trying to blend this so that there's hardly any in the middle. But yeah, so we were really happy that they let us bring him back, just because it was. But then they let us bring the other guy back. He just came back about a month ago. But again, there's only 5 of us now on the floor. And like, if one of us takes a day off, like an extra day off, like not just like a normal 2 days a week type of thing, but like there's a whole lot going on this fall. There's like 2 people together have 3 different weddings they have to attend. Like, they're actually like in them. So I'm not gonna like say who and whatnot, but like, so yeah, it's kind of, oh, I just messed up. I'm so mad. I'll fix it. But yeah, like, it's just been a hectic, crazy, hectic, like, 6 months. Because, God, this shit's been going on for 6 months. We've been dealing with a pandemic that should have only taken a few weeks to deal with, has now turned into a pandemic that we're 6 months into, with still no fix. You know what I mean? So, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? Nobody, because, and I'm probably going to lose people over this, but I don't really mind that much. Not that I have anybody over here anyway, but our president handled this situation awfully. He didn't take care of his people like he's supposed to. He should have listened to his professionals that he had on staff instead of saying it wasn't real and dismissing everything. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like all of this could have been avoided if he had just listened to people that knew what they were talking about to begin with. But instead, he didn't. And like, I don't root for, like, I didn't like him to begin with. I just didn't like the things he'd done and the things he said. I just didn't care for him. I didn't vote for him. Like, I have a small daughter. Like, I didn't want her thinking that that's how men are supposed to talk to her and talk about her. Like, and I didn't have a young son. Like, I didn't want him thinking that's how he's supposed to talk to women and about women. Like, that was just my stance. I didn't like him because of that. Same reason I don't like some YouTubers and some celebrities is for the same reason. I don't like the way that they talk about women and treat women, or like the racial things and stuff like that. Like my youngest son, who I placed for adoption, I'm still in his life, don't judge me. It was a very bad part of my life. I was trying to get out. I had just gotten out of an abusive relationship with my older two's father, and it was just a mess. And I didn't want to be struggling as much as I was going to be, which I am struggling, but not as much as I would have been if I had taken on a third kid. So I wanted to give him the best life that I could give him, which ended up being perfect. Like, he has an amazing life. Like, he's got pretty much everything he could have ever wanted. And I still get to see him. I still get to love on him and hug him, and he knows who I am, and he'll always know who I am. He'll know that I'm always there for him. It just wasn't the time. I didn't have the ability and have the resources to give him the best life that he deserved. So I did what was best for him. I gave him to a couple that couldn't have children on their own, who love him so very much. And I get to see him. Like, my kids know who he is. My older two know who he is. But anyway, like, it's just been an adventure trying to, like, balance all this. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just been an adventure. I'm just trying to deepen up this color a little bit more because it's a little too light for what I wanted. But yeah, it's, I don't know. Like I said, we're moving in a few weeks. I know I'm like all over the place. I keep like changing things. Sorry. I'm kind of a scatterbrain. But I'd like to know, like, is anyone's kids like doing in school? Because I know, at least with my older two, because they're in actual school. My youngest isn't old enough yet. He's just in preschool, so they're not really doing anything. They're not sending him to preschool right now. I know that my older two are doing all online because they were given this weird option where like they do 2 days a week, half online, and then they would go home for lunch and then do the other half online. I'm sorry, 2 days a week in class, half days in class, and then they would go home for lunch and do the other half of the day online, and then the other 3 days it was all online. And to me, that was a bit confusing. I was like, they're little, like they're not gonna understand that. They're not gonna have a routine to really get into. It's like a weird routine, you know. So I was like really glad, because they currently live with their grandmother. I was really glad that she had just decided to kind of let them stay home and do it and do all their classes online for right now. Just to make it easier for them and for her, and when I go and get custody for myself. Hopefully it's not long. I have to wait at least 6 months before I go to court, but we'll see. Because they want you to show like stability and like permanence, and moving and going immediately to court for custody won't look good, and more than likely I'll get a no. So that's why kind of hoping, like, we get to, yeah, so we're moving in next week and then getting the house together and saving up money because I don't want to just go out and buy them clothing. Because like I said before, my daughter is 7.5. My son is 6.5. Well, just turned 6 in June. Whatever. He likes to say he's 6.5, but you know, kids are kids and they say what they want to say. They do what they want to do. So you can't really do much about that. Even though, like, I'm definitely the one that runs the household. Like, I'm definitely the one that's, like, in charge. I make the rules. I don't play that game. My kids know better. Even, like, but there is going to be difficulties when I do get custody. Just because of other problems. But nothing real crazy. I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited to finally have my kids. Because I've missed having them. I've missed having them every day. Like, their grandmother tried to be like, well, like, complaining about it. And I was like, well, because she took custody. Like, we gave her custody at her suggestion. It wasn't something that, like, we asked her to do. There was just too many issues going on with their father and with myself. I'm not really going to get too far into. I wasn't stable at that point in time. And I wanted to make sure they had a good life and that they were, like, not dealing with my problems. I was really young when I had them. I got pregnant with my daughter at 19. I had her at 20. Not that any of this is an excuse. It's just to kind of show, like, I was a child. I didn't know any better. So I don't even know where I was going with that. But yeah, it was just me trying to figure myself out and trying to, like, get stuff together and get myself together. I love you, Whisper Grace. Sorry, she won't stop. Oh, I don't like this. I don't like this eyeshadow palette. Whisper Grace, mommy's busy. So yeah. Anyone have any, like, cool tips and tricks that they like to share, or they'd like to share, or they feel like everyone should know? Because, like, for me, my problem is getting color to show up to the point that I want it to down here. Like, right now it looks okay. But, like, I try to tap it so that it, like, goes on, but, like, I don't know. I know it looks crazy right now. It looks really dark because of where you're sitting, but it's actually more of a teal like I wanted it to be, because that was the color reference, was the teal. So there's that. But yeah, I'm actually using 2 new palettes today, and I'm decently surprised. I got them at TJ Maxx, so I don't think they're actually available anymore on normal, like, mainstream places, just because I haven't actually seen them for sale anywhere other than TJ Maxx when I saw them. I'm trying to blend that out. I know, I look fucking crazy. I'm sorry. But it is what it is. I'm trying to get the orange to, like, connect around. Yeah, I've been trying new things with makeup recently. Just trying to, like, branch out of, like, my comfort zone, I guess. She's downstairs, actually, but she's been, apparently birds go through puberty. Didn't know that. And she is. So she's been biting me specifically more than him. He swears it's not, but it most definitely is me more than him. But he's a bird person, so like he's more used to a bird biting him than I am. Like, I'm not for it. I don't deal with it. I'm like, nope. I try. He's like, you can't show her fear. So I was like, all right, cool. I won't show her fear. I went and I was holding her yesterday, and she was like fine letting me scratch her when she didn't know it was me. He said she knew, but as soon as she realized it was me, she started biting me. So there's no way she knew it was me petting her in the first place. So I'm trying to get a more of a blendy brush. That looks terrible. But yeah, she bit the crap out of my hand this morning. Well, she's biting me a whole bunch last night. And like I was like, no, we're not doing that. And then went on to like continue to try to hold her and like just let her sit on my chest. Like that's all I did. I was just letting her sit on my chest. And she just proceeded to continuously bite me over and over again. And I was like, no, like I'm not gonna do this. I'm really not. Sorry, I need to go back in with the teal. I blended more of that away than I wanted to. But yeah, like I don't think I have the marks anymore. She didn't really break skin. I don't know if you can see. Not really. You can't really see. I have like a red spot on the back of my finger from her like biting me yesterday or this morning, because she like got a good bite into me this morning. I was so mad. I know I keep saying yesterday, but no, that was actually from this morning. Yeah, she actually got a really good bite into me, and I was like, nope. And I got mad at him yesterday because he kept just jumping in to like rescue me, and I was like, honey, just let me handle it. I will let you know if I need help. Like, don't just take her from me. Like, let me try to resolve this myself. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a grown adult. Let me figure it out. Like, so I did. I was like, I dealt with her and I was handling her. And then she would get worse. And like, she's really, like, I couldn't get her off of me. She kept biting my face. Like, she got me down in here a couple times. She got my mouth a couple times. And finally, I was like, and I couldn't get her off because every time I tried to grab her hand, she was like really biting me. So I was like, honey, okay, come get her. Because like, I can't deal with that. Like, I'm not, would prefer not to be bit. So he decided that she was going to stay upstairs today as punishment for being mean and for biting. And I was like, all right, that's fine. Leave her upstairs. And it's warmer up here anyway, which is good because she's a tropical bird. I know this makeup is like taking forever. I'm sorry. Because like I'm not that great at makeup. I love doing it and I enjoy branching out for creativity and stuff, because I for a while there I was getting really stuck in the same thing that I was doing every single day. Every single thing that I did was the exact same thing. I was kind of like doing a wing liner and then like just like under the brow bone, like in the crease, just brushing some brown in and then doing like a shimmer in here and like calling it a day, and like that was it with mascara, and like that was all I was doing. So I'm kind of glad to have gotten back into my collabs so that it kind of makes me branch out, makes me do different things, try different things, use all of my makeup, because it gives me color palettes to like actually work with instead of me sticking to like the same 2 palettes, because I have like 13 of them. So I know it doesn't sound like a lot for like YouTube, but like, or like people that want to do YouTube. But for me, I work an 8 to 5 job. Sorry, an 8 to 5 job, and there isn't really a reason for me to have as much makeup as I do, but I do. I have a ton for what I do. But it's because I love it. I love doing it. I'm just not fantastic. I'm not awful. Like, I can do looks. I'm just not the best out there. I can't even name one right now because all the ones that I used to like are now all having their own problems. Because they do stupid shit. Talking to you, Jeffree Star. And Jaclyn Hill. So yeah. But yeah, that's really the only thing that's been going on is like moving and getting stuff together and trying to get custody of my kids. So, I mean, it's exciting and nerve-wracking. And I also just told my fiance yesterday, because again, I have 3 kids. I'm in a really good spot now. Like, I'm in a much better spot than I was 4 years ago when I had my youngest. That I want to have another baby. Like, I had my youngest, and I had the birth, the delivery. Like, I had the pregnancy, the delivery. I had 3 days with him, with me and only me, really, other than when he met his dad's, after he was born. Like, but then I had to leave him at the hospital. So I didn't really get to, like, it made baby fever. I have to say, it made baby fever, like, 1,000 times worse. So I went ahead and I told my fiance yesterday. Well, I didn't tell him per se. I just kind of started sending him baby gifts, gifs, whatever you call them, of like them doing cute things, like over and over again. And I was just like, all right, hopefully he gets the hint. Like, I want to have a baby, but my fiance's not young. He's actually, he's 53. I'm gonna be 28 in like a week. So there's a large age gap between us. So he's not a young guy. He has 5 grandkids. Like, but I told him, I was like, that's what I want. Like, I want to have another baby. Like, I want to have a baby with him. Like, I just want to have a baby with him, obviously. Like, I don't want to have a baby with anyone else. But, like, I had thought that I was over it. That I didn't want to have another baby. But then it's like, one, I love babies. I missed a whole bunch with my kids because of my separation and everything, custody and all that kind of fun jazz. Like, the last time I had my kids all the time, or it wasn't just visitation, I still got to pick out their clothing. Like, now though, my kids pick their own clothes out. Like, they tell you what they want to do. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get to give them as much of an influence as I wanted to. And I want to give them an influence. I want them to be, like, I'm still going to work at it, obviously, of making them good people. But, like, a lot of stuff's already, like, set in stone with them. Where they kind of, they get their own ways, like, a lot of the time. And, like, they do, I was a very, like, anti, like, electronics parent. I didn't want my kids to have electronics when they were young. Like, I wanted it to wait. Like, I understand now with schools and stuff, like they kind of have to have electronics. But like even before that, like my daughter had a cell phone at like 3 because of her father, and then because of her grandmother. Like they each let her have a cell phone, even though I was dead against it. I also didn't want to raise my kids with a religion. I wanted to kind of teach them everything and like let them figure out for themselves what they believed in and what they wanted to believe in and what made sense, and with no judgment. But instead, my kids have been raised in a Catholic household. Their grandmother had taken them to church and everything, and I was like, no, like, me and their father had both agreed, like, no, we're not taking them to church. We're not gonna push any religions like down their throat. Like, we wanted them to learn on their own about things. Like, if they had a question, or we could teach them, like, celebrate all the holidays. Be like, all right, it's Hanukkah. Like, let's learn about what people believe and things like that. Like, teach them everything. And like, I'm Wiccan. My ex is Catholic. My fiance is Catholic. But I'm Wiccan. We don't go to church. We don't do any of that. I have stuff for my religion. He has stuff for his. We just don't do anything with it. Like, we don't, like, I'll explain to him, like, oh, it's the full moon. Like, I gotta go put out my water. And he's like, okay. Like, there's just nothing there. Like, he doesn't care. Like, he cares because I care. But, like, not for himself. Like, same with my kids. My kids would be around it. Like, my fiance's not, he's not, like, very strict with his religion at all. Like, he's never gone to church, with me at least. He's never done anything like that. As far as I can tell, he doesn't pray, he doesn't do anything. What do y'all think? That's the finished look. I'm actually not mad at it, to be honest. I think it came out pretty decent. I'm actually pretty happy with how it came out. It's not perfect again, obviously, but like, I think it's pretty. I think it's really pretty. So I think I'm going to put my hair down. I might pop on a lipstick. Probably not, because I hate lipstick. Right now, there's no point. And then probably just take my pictures for my collab. I'm excited. I really like how it turned out. I think it complements with my hair really well. See? My hair's wet right now because I got a shower this morning. And I don't blow dry my hair. Because if I blow dry my hair, it like blows fuses in this house. It's awful. But I like it. It's very fall-like, I think. What do you think? Comment down below what look you guys think I should do next. Bye-bye!